Hey folks, my name is Steve Cornwell and you're watching the Dialog, where you'll find all of George Brown College's community and campus news. Today we're talking elections. There's a student association election happening, many positions available, and we are joined by some of the candidates. Fellas, can you tell me who you are, what you're running for, and some interesting thing about you?
Hello people, I am Vimal. I am running for Casa Loma campus director position. I basically come from IT background and I am doing information system business analysis course.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
My name is Jeremy Worrall. I am running for Casa Loma campus director and I'm taking computer technician T141. My spare time, I like to organize punk shows.
I would never guess. So just getting right into it, Jeremy, I'll start with you. Why do you think you should have this position? Why should people vote for you?
Well, I have experience working with the SA already. I was in a term just recently as the Information Technology Arts Design Rep for Casa Loma campus and some of the students at St. James as well. The term was extremely short because of the strike, and I put a couple things in motion that I wanted to get accomplished, but I didn't have the right amount of time to complete everything just because of the limited time frame. So I'll continue moving forward with the things that I started working on, like more Knox Loan training sessions through the CAC and more events for people at Casa Loma campus.
Great. Vimal, what are your thoughts on why people should vote for you?
I am here as a student, but I come from a very strong industry background. Like I have 10 years of experience in IT industry. That includes banking domain as well. So given the fact that I have always been involved in many activities, irrespective of whether it be volunteering or it be any kind of association at the workplace or at the study place. In this college, probably there are many platforms where we can do, innovate our ideas, implement it on the ground, like it be clubbing or this student association. I am also a volunteer in student association. Probably I got it very next week when I joined for the college. And the moment I saw that we are having an election where it will give me a platform where I can bring out all my ideas together. Certain thing which I felt missing was a bit of interactive nature of the association, where we had one-way flow of information, but I did not see a very clear flow coming from the other side of the the student side.
Like students speaking to the student association?
Yes, I mean certainly there are certain things that we can work on that, and we are a group of like 26,000 students regular, 60,000 students who are passing students, so that's a huge group of brains studying together. And if we are not connected, actually, as per our motto lines or as per our mission statement that says in student association, we all need to come together at some point of time. We all need to give a thought. Even if one idea comes from each one of us, it's like 25,000 ideas on the table at any point of time. So that is what I want to do, and that is what is driving me to run through these elections, and that will be my objective if I make it through.
The position itself is for the Casa Loma
campus
director.
Yes.
Yeah. So is there like a specific challenge that Casa Loma has as a campus? Like, is it kind of a forgotten campus at George Brown?
Well, I believe if you speak to any student, exactly what they want from the college, they will. You will find that everybody will talk that my course should end up with a good job. Now, how it will happen? Of course, we are having a quality education here. We are having all set of facilities that one may need to. At the same time, we are we getting the regular feedbacks at what stage students are? Are we getting the regular feedback, what we can assist to them other than communicating from the one side? Email does not help. We need to have a mechanism where it has to be very bidirectional and it has to be very frequent communication. So as to the Casa Loma campus, I believe those are the things which we can incorporate easily, which is doable. In a way, and yes, well, on the lighter note, like one of the problem which I felt from most of the students when I spoke to them, they find this building a bit not so easy to go through. You have to struggle find a classroom. I guess there could be some very easy solution for that. Only thing is some guys need to come together and work on it. Simple.
So students have told you that that's not an easy campus to get around?
Yes, that is what I got. Not only it's input from us. Like when I went to the orientation, the person who took us for the tour also said that it's very confusing. Irrespective, of course, it's not a rocket science, I believe. So even if it is confusing, we can have a way out. But probably we have not given a thought on that. That how we can have a mechanism where the new students, when they are coming, should be very well versed with the building layout, how they will move to the classes, so that time doesn't get wasted. Yeah.
And Jeremy, I mean, you've been here for a little while longer in the Casa Loma campus. What are your thoughts? Like, is the Casa Loma campus like is it maybe overlooked by the George Brown College as a campus, do you think?
I don't think that like as a campus it's necessarily overlooked, but I think that last semester we could have had more events on campus. St. James has a lot more events that happen down there at their campus. So that's one of the things that I want to focus on. I always tell the students when I'm campaigning, like, if you have any problems, you can come up and talk to me. Like, I'm a huge student advocate because I've been to colleges before where the student advocacy was extremely weak, and it was mainly administered by the college itself, which I think is a conflict of interest because they're going to protect their employees above the students, firstly. So that's a major focus for me, is student advocacy, and I have experience advocating for myself. There are some things at St. James and Casa Loma that I would, working with the other directors as a joint effort, change the way that people use the elevators in terms of accessibility, because people aren't giving priority to people with disabilities, and they aren't giving priority to people with children. College is an inclusive and diverse space, but we need to acknowledge that some people in college, they're a little bit older and they might have children. We have daycares on campus, and we need to put up some signs to give priority to parents, people with strollers, when they're entering and exiting an elevator.
Have you seen like a circumstance like that you're describing unfold, where there's an older person or maybe someone with an accessibility need that's kind of is just left waiting for an elevator?
These are problems that I've been told about by people who are facing these issues. Yeah, I just think that we need to focus on accessibility. That's a major thing. It's a simple thing. It's not like it's very difficult to put up a couple stickers, but it impacts people's lives. And I also want to start to make the move towards gender-inclusive washrooms, because last fall the Canadian government passed Bill C-16, which is including gender identities under protected class in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So we need to start unifying our policies and updating them to be in line with Canadian values and Canadian law.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned kind of student advocacy and having experience with at other campuses and other schools with student advocacy. Like, I know you were on the board last year, and it was a by-election, so it was a little bit of a shortened term, and the strike, obviously. But if you can take an honest gaze about the performance of the student association this past year, like, how do you think the board did in terms of like fulfilling its mandate and serving students?
I think they did really well, because we have a lot of curriculum changes because of the strike, and a lot of those curriculum changes and a lot of that flexibility started at the student association working with the college. The college wanted to condense everything together and make everybody work a lot harder, which, you know, as a student with an accessibility issue myself, would have been extremely unacceptable. And the student association made sure that for the coming term that we were going to have a little bit more flexibility with that. And they also helped to create the relief fund, student relief fund, and that came right out of the SA budget, because CFS didn't back our approval for tuition refund, which we were trying to push them to do. So the Student Association during the strike did a lot of good work and a lot of hard work, and we had some really amazing events like the event at the Phoenix, which sold out, which was extremely impressive. I was very impressed with the board in pulling that off.
Vimal, what do you think? Vimal, what do you think? What do you think the Student Association, how they've been doing in terms of representing students, and what could be done better, in your opinion?
I believe there are certain things which are really impressive, as I will agree, like this strike really fun thing. Of course, I can understand what kind of struggle they may have went through just to get it done, because there are money involved, and that's a huge money involved, right? At the same time, the idea is pretty good. The idea of bringing things up together, doing nice things. I have attended orientation. I have heard him also, and that was impressive. I really felt there is a grace in what we are trying to do, and there is a motive. That is a good intention. That's everything is good. But my concern is about some underutilization of resource. When I say resource, I mean we have got such a good infrastructure. We have got such a number of people. We have got everything that is right here. Are we utilizing it completely? My concern is regarding the information. Are we communicating in a way that is reaching out to the larger audience? I believe we can work a bit more there. My concern is also about getting kind of a feedback and response in a way where it comes in. How many of people are actually aware? Right now we are talking, and we are actually talking on the subjects. It's making sense to us, and I am feeling really good about talking it. How many of us are involved? Why are not many people involved? Even when it comes to the activities we do, what's your attendance level? When I am new, when everybody is new, people don't know, so they attend, and they feel that it's mandatory, and eventually when they get to know it's out of option, they only attend if it is a pizza option. I mean, if there is a pizza for the cause. No, it should not happen that way. Our activity should drive them to come to the event, not a pizza should drive them to come to the event, and that is where we need to relook into our own way how we are approaching to people. A number of things can be done. It's doable. We only need to integrate more. I am very much comfortable and supporter of the very idea of the mission statement that Student Association is having. My little bit suggestion would be on the implementation side. We can do it more broadly. It has to be more inclusive. Also, a certain degree of transparency is needed in terms of the activities we are doing. If somebody is having an idea somewhere else, if he knows that certain activity is happening, he will come up, he may pitch in, he can tell you. We need to provide them the mechanism to do so. We need to talk to them. We need to ask people, like, how do you want things to happen? What are the activities we are doing to make people more inclusive? So these are certain things. There's always a possibility of making things better, and we can do it only when we have more people to give you a suggestion. Me, in a personal capacity, I may have my limitation. Even if I go through and make through this election, still I will have my limitation. I will need a suggestion from him. I will need a suggestion from everybody. But can I get it done overnight? No. A mechanism has to be set up. So my idea of this election is setting up that mechanism where we pitch in more ideas, more concerns, more resolutions, and end of the day we should be like one body, the complete, like, I'm not sure of the exact figure, it must be like 10,000 students studying together, should be like one body. It shouldn't be like once you are representing, so we are representing a large number of people, so there's a huge lot of responsibility, and responsibility is from each one of them. It's not about like a small section or a segregated section.
But I mean, there's events that are happening like all the time that the DSA is running, and they're generally an open invitation, minimal cost to attend them. Like, what would you say that's happening with those events that people aren't coming out of it?
I myself have participated as a volunteer, so I could see, I can get a feel of how it works. As I said, the intentions has always been very nice, and intention is to do better things. But the way we are implementing, probably the way we have to see what's the idea. Idea is to convey a message, what we are doing and why they should participate, and they should get benefit at the end of the day. All I have to say as a bottom line is pizza is not the benefit that we want to get as students, right? We want to get a benefit which is actually long-term benefit. So we need to start thinking that way. Having a successful event based on certain goodies is not the best idea, I believe. having a successful event based on that, people go back and they talk about it, they come back to us and say that yes, this is the take of this event and I want to contribute in this way, or I still need this and this thing. Is this happening? If this is happening, it's pretty nice to know.
And just to be clear though, you're not anti-pizza.
No. Yeah.
I mean, your opponent appears to be anti-pizza.
It's funny that you spoke on that point, because actually I made a Facebook post last year that said pizza is the gateway drug to student politics, because the general meeting in November when I came, I passed the bylaw to protect the student staff wages, make sure that they're competitive and that they're reviewed every year. And that was mainly because there was pizza. I wouldn't have, I'm not saying I wouldn't have come, but I knew about it because there was pizza. However, I would say that I think that we could have a variety of different foods at these meetings, such as Portuguese barbecue, which is extremely delicious, and there's a lot of it in this area. There's a lot of it in this area. I don't know how many people get to enjoy Portuguese barbecue. But in seriousness, I think that Vimal, he said a lot of good things about inclusivity, and I agree that I think that we can have more diversity in our events, and I think that we can include more people with a wider range of interests in the events and have more communication with the clubs and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that's time permitting. And coming up, we're going to have quite a lot of time to work on that stuff.
Just to quickly add on that note, pizza was just an example. It is about the goodies and everything.
I know. Be careful what you say about pizza around here.
Yeah, so it's not I'm anti-pizza. I love it personally, and it's definitely one of my meal in once a day. So it's not that way. But yes, the idea of an activity is the final take. That is going to be impactful in long term, a bit long term. At least when people come to our desk and they go back, they should be thinking for a while why they came and what they have achieved. We need to be a bit cautious about what we are doing.
Okay, and final question here. You guys are campaigning against each other, or at least you're campaigning for a position. There will be one person that will get it. So as the election kind of unfolds, it might get more heated, it may not. I don't know, I'm just speculating because we're in the business of heat in the news business. But Jeremy, can you say one nice thing while everything is calm about your opponent here?
He's a very well-spoken and well-dressed man.
Vimal, do you have anything nice to say?
I'm already impressed with him because I attended his orientation and I loved the way he interacted. That was very that was the point where I felt that yes, student association is a place where I should get associated immediately, and within 2-3 days I was a volunteer over there. So that marked an impression. So I'm already impressed with the overall way he says things, and I just said my interaction with him has always came with a grace and honest intention. So irrespective of what happens as a result of election, I guess that is, for me, that is a kind of formality. As it is about the inclusive working, I guess as a student also, nothing stopped me to work with him. Even at this point of time, whether either of us win or none of us win, doesn't matter. If I have certain idea, I feel at the moment that I'm comfortable to speak to him, and I'm sure that he will be helping me out. Either I am a student or I am a representative. That's not something most important for me.
Well, great. Thanks so much for coming in, Vimal.
Thanks, Steve.
Jeremy,
Thanks,
best
Steve.
of luck on the election campaign.
Yeah.
So the SA elections, they're on right now. Voting starts online March 19th, in person March 22nd, and you can cast your ballots until March 27th. Get out there.